It has been quite a while since I last covered a Simgot IEM. Today we have a brand new one from them, the ET142. Now Simgot as a brand has been quite intriguing to me as they seem to put out a lot of effort into their products that they create. Often introducing new chassis for a new line rather than rehashing an existing one. Starting things off with an unboxing, Simgot has refined its unboxing experience since the days of the EA500 and has modernized the process. Boxing the ET142 feels familiar if you have previously owned some of their models. You get a premium looking sleeve despite it only featuring a render of the earphones on the front. I like how they managed to design it tastefully with a grey tone that matches the chassis of the IEM. The cool thing is that at the back of the sleeve, it showcases the exploded view of the ET142, highlighting the intricate driver placement. And the best thing about the unboxing experience is that there is no hi-res logo on it. That's great because that absolutely means nothing. So removing the logo, you get a shape of a planar. Beneath that, everything feels familiar if you're accustomed to Simgot's presentation. They got it right the first time. You're greeted by the earphones themselves. Underneath them is an accessory box containing different types of ear tips, some nozzle sponges for tuning, O-rings, and also one pair of bone nozzle. In the second accessory box, we have two more nozzles which are slightly shorter and marked with either a black or red O-ring. So you are actually given quite a lot of nozzles with this IEM. You get a titanium blue one, which is the default one on the IEM, a gold nozzle, a short one with red O-rings, a short one with black O-rings, so a total 4 of them. Lastly, we have the hard case which houses the LC7 cable, which is a very nice addition. This is an upgrade cable that is sold by Simgot and is a default cable on the ET142. Let's talk about the build quality now. The ET142 chassis is an alloy that has undergone additional CNC processing. It builds upon the EA500's design but is slightly larger to accommodate larger drivers. The build is solid and exudes quality. I love the mirror finish. It is really rather pretty, but also a fingerprint magnet. Inside the chassis, Simgot has squeezed in a 12.5mm planar driver and a piezoelectric tweeter. Hybrid planar designs are becoming more common, and this is Simgot's take on that concept. This approach aims to address the shortcomings of earlier planar IEMs, which tend to be a bit shoutier and rougher in the upper mids and treble. In theory, the dedicated tweeter should solve this. The included LC7 cable is a 2-pin upgrade cable from Simgot that features 732 cores, comprising of oxygen-free copper and silver-plated oxygen-free copper in a LITS configuration. It feels very sturdy and has an interchangeable friction-based plug system. However, points are kind of deducted because this is a friction-based system, as frequent plug swaps may cause them to loosen over time. Sound. Since there are basically 4 nozzles, tuning varies slightly. This review is based on the stock titanium blue nozzle, which emphasizes upper mids. So there is a gold nozzle that is provided, and it is actually very similar to the titanium blue with a slight boost in the upper mids. So moving on to the short black O-ring nozzle. So this significantly reduces the upper mids, making it a great option for those who are sensitive to them, though this also reduces a bit of the airiness. And lastly, the short red ring O-ring nozzle. This is an even more aggressive cut than the black nozzle. So overall, the ET142 features a signature that has a V shape and with a bit of an elevated upper mid-range. The degree of upper mid-range emphasis depends really on the nozzle that is used. The shorter nozzles here reduces upper mids, as I said earlier, making them a bit more listener-friendly. Planar IEMs tend to exhibit linear-based dynamics, and the ET142 follows suit. Though notably it is better than earlier models, however it still lacks the explosiveness dynamics of traditional dynamic drivers. The addition of the piezoelectric tweeter is a great move, allowing for a smooth upper mid and treble presentation. Despite the treble's prominence, it remains well controlled, addressing the typical harshness of older planar IEMs. For this review, I used the Lotto Por GT2. So starting things off with bass, if you are familiar with other planar IEMs, the ET142 bass will feel rather familiar. It features an elevated sub-bass that transitions linearly to the mid-bass. This results in a strong fundamental tone, offering a clean and detailed bass response. While dynamics are good, they don't quite match the explosiveness of dynamic drivers. Mid-range. The mid-range is fast and crystalline with a slight warmth in vocals. Vocals have an airy halo, making them sound magical. This added air is thanks to the piezoelectric tweeter, which contributes to depth. Despite the elevated upper mids on the titanium blue nozzle, I never once found them rough sounding. It's very smooth. Instrument separation is excellent, but the vocals shine most on the ET142. Clarity is high and song sounds very precise. Moving on to treble. Treble extension is excellent thanks to the piezoelectric tweeter. It is smooth yet detailed with significant airiness that adds depth to the overall signature. While it falls just short of more expensive IEMs that uses electrostatic drivers, at its price point, it is very commendable. Soundstage, when it comes to width and height, it is excellent thanks to its strong treble performance. Depth and positioning, the ET142's clean character aids in spatial positioning and contributes to a well-layered soundstage. Of course, we need to compare to some of the competition. So firstly, compared to the Tangzu Zetian Legend. Now the Tangzu Zetian Legend features a dual planar setup that is well implemented. It excels in rendering vocals very beautifully with a touch more warmth than the ET142. Comparing it to the ET142, the latter offers better resolution and more neutral tonality. Preference matters here. If you prioritize resolution, go with the ET142. If you love more warmth and have very engaging vocals, consider the Legend. Next up, versus the 7Hz Timeless 2. Now the Timeless 2 is the most versatile of the current planar IEMs. While it doesn't have a fancy dual driver setup like the ET142 or Zetian Legend, it remains a strong contender. In fact, it is my top pick alongside with the ET142. The Timeless 2's strength lies in its adaptability. While the ET142 has 4 nozzles for tuning, the Timeless 2 still feels more versatile, almost mimicking another IEM like the Shure SL2024. Both are highly resolving, but the ET142 edges the Timeless 2 by a small margin, especially when it comes to resolution. You won't go wrong either way. If you want an airy specialist, then the ET142 is the one to want. If you want a versatile champion, then pick the Timeless 2 because it can literally mimic the Shure SL2024 very, very well. It's like you're getting 2 IEMs in one. So next, let's talk about some ratings. So bass has very good texture on the ET142. Out of 10, it gets an 8. Mid-range is crystalline and very neutral sounding. There is just a bit of warmth, but it doesn't really color much of the sound. It gets a 7.5. Treble, it is very effortless and smooth, which is really quite amazing. It gets an 8 out of 10. Resolution, it's very, very high resolution. It gets 8 out of 10. Soundstage is good, it gets 7.5 out of 10. And lastly, the enjoyment factor. Now, the ET142 is a very high resolution planar set that I thoroughly enjoyed. It gets an A+. And finally, in conclusion, when it comes to high resolution chifi planar IEMs, the ET142 sets the benchmark. I enjoyed its airy high resolution nature. Sure, it does face stiff competition, but each contender has its own strength. The Timeless 2 is the most versatile of the lot. The Tangzu Zetian Legend, I really like the mid-range, and actually there's still the Shure SL2024. Now that's sold out, but if you get it, the mid-range is the thickest of the lot, and if you like thick vocals, that's the one to get. Thank you guys for watching a super chunk super audio show. It's great to be back in the studio to do more videos. It's very nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.